Hi friends. One of my favorite things to do when creating music is to utilize soundscapes and drones to help fill out the track, create a vibe, and just add to the overall depth and ambience of the tune. And so in this video, I figured I would show you some ways that I create those drones. All right, so I've got a really simple Logic session loaded up here, and I'm using a piano for my source sound, but you can essentially use any sound you want. What I'm doing here is I've got the piano track being sent to bus 1, and then I've got an audio track where the input is that bus, and I made it stereo, and that is going to the stereo out. So I'm essentially taking everything from this piano track and sending it to an audio track. And I just do that so I can easily record and capture whatever sound I come up with. One of my favorite plugins to create drones and soundscapes with is the Primal Tap Delay from Soundtoys. This is probably one of the most underrated Soundtoys plugins, but in my opinion, it's one of the most unique delays out there. And so I'll show you just how I use it here. Here's the piano, just hitting 3 simple notes. Now I'm going to turn on the Primal Tap Delay. Alright, it's just one delay repeat by default, nothing too exciting. I'm going to bring up the feedback a bit. Cool. Next time around, I'm going to grab it with the freeze button. Now this is where the fun starts to happen. Alright, so I had a little fun there. Basically what's going on is with this multiply knob, I'm doubling the delay time and then halving the sample rate at the same time. So we're losing audio quality, I guess, and getting kind of a more lo-fi sound, which is pretty fun to play around with. This A and B is of course the two delay times for each delay tab, the left and right. So what I like to do is set them to have slightly different delay times to create more of a stereo sound. Alright, what I'm going to do now is just throw on a reverb. I mean, just instantly sounds super cool. Another thing we can do, and I love to do, is kind of band pass it, filter it a bit. And then what we can do is like just print it, so we can come over here and however long we want to record this drone for, we can just record it to this audio track. Cool. And then now we've got this stereo drone. Let's say we want to pitch it up an octave or down a bit. You get the idea. I love this plugin because you can get a lot of cool stereo, textury drone sounds, and it's all really warm sounding. You know, it doesn't sound too digital or anything. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking this one out if you haven't already. Super fun plugin to create these types of soundscapes with. So there's this really cool plugin company I recently discovered called SoundGhost, and I believe they make 2 plugins. They're both really, really awesome. And the one I'm going to talk about in this video is called Scatter. And it's this really cool granular reverb, delay, pitch shifting thing. The perfect machine for creating really cool soundscapes and drones. And what I really, really love about this plugin is it's super simple. I mean, the UI is just, you've got 6 knobs, and everything you do, you hear a difference. And I love plugins like that. You can just throw on, change a couple knobs, and boom, you've got a really, really cool sound. So I'm gonna use the same piano as before. If you forgot what it sounds like, here's a quick reminder. Awesome. And now I'm just gonna turn on the scatter plugin. Instant coolness. And just like the Primal Tap plugin, we've also got a freeze button. So let's go ahead and freeze the piano and mess with some knobs. So as you can hear there, this plugin is an instant vibe, and really anything I did sounded pretty cool. And you can imagine, adding some EQ and things, you can really tailor the sound exactly how you'd want it. That was obviously a super quick demo, but in case you missed something, I'll go over some of the controls just so you can get a quick feel for the plugin. This is the freeze button. We can reverse the grains. This is the amount of grains, and each color dot you see here is a different characteristic. I'd have to look at the manual to know what the difference is. The size knob here sets the size of the grains. Pitch, of course, is your pitch. And what's cool, you can also add some modulation to the grains. You can do it to both the high and lows, just the lows, or just the highs. You have your different shapes here. You've got a feedback knob, so if you don't want to use the freeze button, you can use this to set how long you want the grains to go on. We've got a space, which is kind of a really cool reverb blend, and then of course your mix knob. Lots of really fun things inside this little plugin. The last idea I want to show you is way too simple, but it works way too well. I went ahead and recorded this super simple guitar part. Now what I'll do is just add 100% wet reverb to this guitar sound. Already sounds amazing. If we want to take this to the next level, we can add another reverb on top of this reverb and get even more washed out. You can of course use any kind of reverb you want, and then we can EQ. Another thing we can do is use a reverb that has a shimmer to create a cool effect there. I'm going to click this shimmer button, turn up the wet, and then I usually like to pair this with another reverb on top of it. And then of course add some EQ. Well, there you go. Those are some simple ways to create your own drones and soundscapes. I hope you're able to learn something or get inspired. If you have a cool way that you create drones or soundscapes, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, or you can join the Discord and we can chat there. Y'all have a great one. Peace.